Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the first installment of our Women in Metal Casting webinar series. Today's presentation is Connecting Across Generations and Gender. Our speaker this morning is Karen Murphy. Karen has 30-plus years in the manufacturing industry. Her corporate experience spans research, plant management, sales and marketing, and environmental health and safety. Along the way, she and her husband had 4 daughters, each born in a different state. She left the corporate world to start her workshop business called Work-Life Pursuit to pay forward what she's lived and learned, helping us connect across generations and gender so we can achieve our work-life goals. Please welcome Karen Murphy from Dublin, Ohio.
Talked with Laura Grodin and Jean Bai, both members of the AFS board, and they told me when they go to conferences, one of the tough parts that they find is seeking out other women. And I get that. You know, I come from a male-dominated profession as well, as you heard from Katie. I'm sure you can pick me out of this picture. But to be fair, it was taken long ago. And I wanted to see if you could guess the year this picture was taken. And I'm going to put Katie on the spot.
Sure.
I haven't told her, but Katie, what do you think?
Based on the eyewear, I'm going to go with 1985.
She's darn close. I don't know if you've all made your guesses, but it was actually 1980. Let's fast forward. 30 years later, it's not much different. But my point is, you can survive and thrive, and it's all about making connections. And having a group like Women in Metal Casting is so powerful to enable you to get together as women and share your experiences. Well, today we're going to connect, and we're going to connect about generations and gender and how we can navigate through some perceptions that are out there and still attain our work-life goals. Now, why gender and generations? Well, let me ask you, have you ever felt misunderstood because somebody made an assumption about you just due to your age or your generation? Or are you, like me, still very frustrated that there's bias out there that we as women encounter in the workplace? And the danger is that we allow these misconceptions, these misunderstandings to derail us from where we want to go in our work and our life. So today I'm looking for 3 outcomes. The first is that together we recognize what are the generational perspectives? What are the gender bias patterns that we face? Because if we can put a name to them, if we can bring that up transparently, then we have a better chance of not getting derailed. Well, once we recognize them, how do we deal with this? What strategy, what kind of approach can we use? And this is when we're going to call upon you to join in and give your opinions. I'll share my 30 years of experience and what I've learned, both in the corporate world and raising 4 children. And I so appreciate how many of you responded to our online survey and already shared experiences that I will report throughout the webinar today. Well, finally, I want to bring that all together by anchoring what is it you want in your work and your life. So as we recognize these perceptions out there and we try to navigate through them, we have the end game in mind. Well, we mentioned we have a worksheet. And if you do have that, make sure you bring it out, because in this workbook are worksheets that we'll use to do some exercise to make this as interactive as we can today. So no worries, I'll call out when we get there and what page to turn to. But I also wanted to point out the very last page is a place where you can jot down some takeaways. And I suggest you think of one takeaway that you could bring back to your company as a way of helping them retain talent and showing your thought leadership and the value you get from a group like Women in Metal Casting, as well as taking away something that you can use and apply, because we're investing an hour of our time today. Let's make sure that it's valuable.